What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. This is a pretty interesting story. We all know that young Karmelo had to get moved out of his very fancy mansion. That was being rented, to be fair, because of all sorts of wild threats on his life. Well, a new investigation reveals that that was a lie. That reveals what the actual threats were, and you're going to be completely mind blown when I tell you. If you enjoy this coverage, if you want me to keep covering it, please do leave a like on the video right now. Make sure you subscribe or follow, and that you share these videos out, because it's definitely hard to break through the algorithm on these topics. Huge shout out to Meta PCs, my computer sponsor, promo code The Quartering, and huge shout out to my coffee company. We roast our own stuff. We're not like everyone else who just drop ships their own garbage. We've got our Mother's Day gift box. Mother's Day is just 2 weeks away. If you haven't gotten that yet, definitely pick it up today. And also, I'd like to invite you to try some of our K-Cups. We have tangerine, medium roast, blueberry, butterscotch, dark roast, cherry cordial, strawberry. Just try one of them today. I just know you're going to love them. They're all available for free Prime overnight shipping, and they're on sale about 15% off our regular price. So check those out. Link in the description below. Well, here we go. The exclusive, the truth about the quote-unquote threats that prompted Karmelo Anthony and his family to flee their $900,000 gated community home. At least one of these so-called threats that prompted the alleged teen, Karmelo Anthony, and his family to flee their gated community home was carried out by kids with water toys. Karmelo, 17, is accused of, well, we all know what he's accused. The details remain murky, but the attack centers around a fight that began when the Anthony, a student at Centennial High School, went to sit under a rival high schooler's tent. Metcalf, a student at the Memorial opposing school, we already know what happened there. While Metcalf's family have shied away from the cameras, the Anthony family has spoken out loudly, hosting press conferences where they say they're the real victims in all of this. Just days ago, they abandoned their $900,000 home in a gated community and went into hiding at an undisclosed location. I'm assuming a Four Seasons hotel or something like that. Police records obtained by the Daily Mail now show that Anthony's father called 911 last week when Anthony was still staying there, after teenagers drove by with toy water weapons. Frisco cops were called to the home on April 15th by Andrew Anthony, the suspect's father, around 7:51 p.m. after two Jeeps with teenagers were seen driving past the house through their doorbell camera. Within the first minute of his interaction with police, Andrew acknowledged that the kids had water toys. He called 911. He knew that there was no actual threat. He knew that they were super soakers and still called. He further described the two Jeeps as having 4 passengers each, with both white and black males in the cars. Anthony also told police that they were obviously play weapons and they were never even pointed at them. The incident report says officers caught up with the kids, high schoolers who were driving through the area, looking for their friend in the area to squirt him. That's all they were doing. They're driving around looking for a buddy of theirs that was out for a run, and they were going to squirt him with their super soakers. That's why Karmelo Anthony had to be rushed to a new location. That's why the black community and self-hating white community had to donate almost $600,000 to the Karmelo Anthony Defense Fund and Relocation Fund. Friends, by the way, who didn't even know Karmelo Anthony and didn't even know he was living there. Subjects stated they did not even realize Karmelo Anthony's house was right there at first, and they were only trying to find their completely uninvolved friend's house. Subject apologized for spooking the residents and stated that there was no intent to make any contact with them, no offense or emergency at this time. Despite the incident deemed a non-emergency by local police, Anthony's family have been very public about these threats that they have received since their son became the suspect in the case. Here's a police report. High schoolers were driving through the area with toy water weapons, looking for their friend in the area to squirt them. Subjects stated they did not even realize Karmelo Anthony's house was right there at first, and were only there to find another uninvolved friend's house. Subject apologized, no offense or emergency at this time. But you have to give the Karmelo Anthony family your money because he has to relocate because there are thugs going around trying to commit drive-bys. Oh, they're super soakers, brightly colored neon. Even the dad knew they were fake. Even the dad acknowledged that they didn't point him at the house. Even the dad acknowledged that there's nothing, but he called 911 nonetheless. I'm wondering if it's going to come back, like who actually called 911, if it was the Next Generation Action Network that's clearly taking advantage of this family. No specifics have been shared about these other alleged incidents. Andrew Anthony did not immediately respond to Daily Mail's request for comment. Andrew's mother wept as she spoke about the negative attention her son's case has drawn on our family at a press conference last week. We have endured death threats. Not one single piece of evidence, by the way. Karmelo's Anthony, Kayla Hayes says in her voice cracked with emotion. Now, do I think it's entirely possible some lunatic on the internet sent something stupid? Yes, I believe it's entirely possible that they did receive these issues. But if you're going to go out to beg for sympathy from the community, you should show the evidence. This goes all the way back to, Gamergate and whatnot. When it's like all these women were like, oh, there's all sorts of threats against us. And then 3 years later, the FBI quietly releases a report that says not a single threat ever existed against any of these women. Moments before she took the stage, Austin's father was escorted out of the event. The family spokesperson accused him of insulting his own son's memory by turning up to the event for his accused life taker. Both families now have local police stationed outside their homes to ensure their personal safety. Only one of these families, though, is being reported on, being referred to as victims in this case, and it's Karmelo's. Why? Because mainstream media. Because that's what they do. I know Austin Metcalf's dad isn't exactly a sympathetic figure, but I've been told behind the scenes that he's no far leftoid lib. He just doesn't want things to blow out of proportion. And it's hard to blame him for that. Meanwhile, Anthony, a former football and track athlete, will serve out the remainder of his house arrest at a secret location. The accused had been removed from his family's Frisco house to an undisclosed location as they worry for his safety. Why? Because some kids were playing with toy water cannons. That's what you're worried about? So now he gets to live in probably a luxury hotel, get room service and all this stuff for the next month. Probably also with the Next Generation Action Network, staying in the hotel room right next to him. I am willing to concede that this kid's family is probably getting taken advantage of by the Next Generation Action Network. But that doesn't make their son a sympathetic figure to me. Their son took another kid's life because he had poor impulse control. And because he, was butthurt about getting told to leave a spot he didn't want to leave. He was brought a knife to a track event because he wanted to use it. By the way, the spokesperson for the Karmelo Anthony family, who has a aggressive rap sheet longer than Long Island, keeps threatening anyone who goes against their narrative. He's now sent a cease and desist to the wrong one today. Listen to this.
Let me start this off by saying that I meant everything that I said. Threatening to sue me for saying that someone who allegedly put a knife into a kid's heart is evil is baffling. This is what happens when you expose wickedness. Now, mind you, I've been one of the more fair and objective voices in this matter. If the allegations are all true, then it went like this. Karmelo was underneath a tent that he should not have been. He was told to move, the confrontation escalated, but he took it to another level to which there is no excuse.
That's where I'm at. I'm sure that these teenage boys raging with testosterone got in some stupid shoving match, but at no point could Karmelo Anthony not walk away from it. He chose to go into his backpack. He chose to goad the guy into escalating things, and he chose to take his life.
Putting a knife in someone's heart over something so petty is evil. If the allegations are true, then he belongs in prison. Subpoena me. My legal funding is very long, and I am very comfortable in a courtroom.
So now you see this public statement from the American Freedmen Legal Fund, demand for retraction of defamatory statements. The American Freedom Legal Fund issues his formal statement in response to posts by this guy, or who apparently is whatever, about Karmelo Anthony and an unverified Freedom Youth. No, I don't think we'll be doing that. I don't think we'll be retracting any statements. I mean, I hope this idiot subpoenas me. I would love to be in that courtroom. These people are bullies. By the way, you're entitled to your opinion. You know, these people are allowed to say whatever they want about Austin Metcalf. Meanwhile, also, the judge presiding in this case has now been doxxed, apparently, and the FBI is investigating. Well, I'm sure glad the FBI is on the case of some judge who reduced the bail for this kid because they have the same skin color. I'm sure that people are really worried about that. Black judge doxxed after reducing Karmelo Anthony's bond in high school. I don't think doxing is actually illegal. I can't be 100% sure. I think there's been some lawsuits around it. But she's a public official. And as far as I know, nobody's gone to her house. Nobody's done anything, whatever. Yes, it is a form of intimidation. I don't support doxing. And they're doing this. So now they're worried about the judge's safety. I predict that all of this is a ruse to get this case moved to a more sympathetic county for the trial. Dallas, Houston, something like that, as opposed to where it's being tried now. That's what I strongly suspect. And, you know, what they're trying to do is keep painting this kid as a victim. It's wild. It's crazy. He's absolutely not. Again, I would say that the parents are probably a victim of this Next Generation Action Network, but that guy's also a piece of garbage. And it's sad, just like the NFL draft, one kid is overshadowing the real case here. Karmelo is, you know, a murderer. He deserves a maximum sentence in prison. He's getting painted as a sympathetic figure. There's a reason the mainstream media isn't covering this, and it's because they know it's a dog. They know that he did what he did, and they know they can't grift on it. But that's not going to stop low-level people like Timu Al Sharpton from Next Generation Action News Network or whatever they are from getting involved and spreading these lies. They should be ashamed. They should be owning up to the fact that they actually received no threats whatsoever. They should be refunding people their money who gave money for his safety because they obviously lied, at least in my opinion. Don't forget to pick up your Mother's Day gift box, link in the description below, or try out some of our cake cups today, link also down there, and we'll talk to you again real soon.